Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wanderers Weird Fiction Podcast. This is our first episode, and I'm very, very happy to say that we have the Honorable Rick Gualtieri. Sorry, I got that wrong, didn't I?
It's okay.
Here, if you say it again, I'll make sure I remember.
I say it like 15 different ways myself. It's Rick Gualtieri.
Okay. Gotcha. So he's well known for writing the Bill the Vampire series. And your most recent project is the Mike the Werewolf series, correct?
Yes, that released about 3 weeks ago, I want to say.
Wow, I haven't gotten the chance to read it at all, but just reading the description of it alone is so impressive. Was Bill the Vampire your first story?
No, it was my second story.
Your second story.
Yeah. So my first story probably really wasn't my first story. It was a collection of short stories I'd written back in college, and I really just re-edited them because I wanted to have a bucket list item and say, "Yay, I wrote a book." But then afterwards, I was like, "Does that really count as writing a book?" I'm like, I really just put stuff together. So then I was like, "No, I got to write a book," and that's when Bill happened.
Okay, and I was actually just rereading it myself, and I've known about it for years. I think the first time I ever interacted with you was back when your account had the video that your kids uploaded. I believe that's what it was. It was they went on there and uploaded some silly little video, and I commented on like, "What is this?" And you're like, "Oh, that's them." But yeah,
that's going back.
I've always been interested in it because it's such. I mean, you're impressively able to combine comedy and horror. I mean, a lot of other people the only other person I could think of who does it so well is Sam Raimi with The Evil Dead.
I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, he's definitely an influence. Him, Ivan Reitman with Ghostbusters. One of my things with horror comedy has always been that a good horror comedy story, if you take the comedy out of it, can still stand as a horror story. And that's pretty much like the way I try to write it along the lines of, okay, this is a horrific scenario, but it's just kind of the people that it's happening to are just kind of assholes.
Very true. Yes, that's something I find is very lost in modern horror, is that everybody's trying to have their main character be the cool anti-hero main guy, kind of trying to feed off of the Deadpool phrase that was so popular just a few years ago. But the making everybody a piece of shit and somebody that you probably wouldn't want to be friends with is just something that's so lost. And you bring that back with, I mean, even I'd say probably in my opinion, the easiest approachable person in the series is Sally. And I don't know if I'd want to meet her personally. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean, you look at Sally the wrong way, she would outright murder you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's part of the fun of it for me. Like one of the things I love about the Evil Dead series, especially Army of Darkness, is that Ash is not a hero. Ash is just a jerk through the entire thing. And he just kind of defaults to the hero because nobody else is standing up against this stuff. But the reality is, every beating he takes, he deserves. And I always like that. And the other thing I like is that, I don't know, characters who are blatantly good or evil, they're usually pretty predictable. But if you have somebody who's just slightly awful, you don't know what they're going to do, because sometimes they're going to do the right thing. Sometimes they're going to be like, "Nah, I'll take the bad guy's bribe," and just walk away.
Absolutely. Morgan, do you want to take one of your questions?
Okay. I got a little further into Mike the Werewolf than Jake did. Of course, it just came out, so I just bought it. But I noticed a lot of similarities between Mike the Werewolf and Bill the Vampire. Specifically, a guy who gets turned supernatural, a really kind of silly guy for a supernatural world, with a dual personality, this evil other personality, so that you return to the status quo. Why was that?
Well, why? So Mike the Werewolf was always meant to be kind of like a bit of a mirror to Bill the Vampire. In fact, Mike started off as a joke maybe 10 years back, because in the original tome of Bill, one of the things was, okay, all these monsters are real, but werewolves are not. and they're
I
like,
remember that.
yeah. And I joked one time on social media, and I was like, at some point, I'm going to introduce werewolves into his world, and I'm just going to write a book, and it's going to be something banal like Mike the Werewolf. And when I make stupid jokes like that, they tend to stick in my head, and I tend to get back to them. One of my recent, in fact, when I introduced werewolves into this series, it was with this joke that I literally had been waiting a decade to write. You guys are familiar with Star Trek: The Next Generation?
I've never watched it, but I used to be very interested in the world of Star Trek.
Okay, so one of the pivotal episodes in that is the Best of Both Worlds, season 3 finale. Excellent episode, and it basically involves the Borg invading, and they fight Starfleet at this place called Wolf 359. And for the longest time, I'm like, one of these days I'm going to have a chapter, and I'm going to call it Werewolf 359. And it's probably nobody's going to get it, but it's going to amuse me, and that's what I care about.
So would you say that a big part of writing what you do is getting yourself to laugh, getting yourself to be a little horrified, and then reapplying that to other people? Or do you think that you write for other people more?
I mean, ultimately, I am my first audience member. I have to like what I write. I will not release a book if I don't enjoy it, if I don't think it's good, funny, exciting, what have you. So the first person I have to make happy is myself. And then if I'm able to do that, the next trick is to find other people with similar tastes.
I believe Morgan had a question that was kind of in that line.
The first question was, is there anything you had to remove? Like because you're editor, like manager, or something, like something that you thought might not like go as well in the stories that you wish like you could have put?
So there's 2 instances where the first one was me personally. In one of my stories, in fact, I think it's the finale of the original Bill of the Dead arc, book 8. I have a joke in there, and personally, I was like, does this go too far? Is this am I pushing it? And what I promised myself, I was like, I'm going to send this book out for beta reading, and if my beta readers come back and they're like, dude, what the hell? Then it's out. I'm just going to change the joke. I'm going to rewrite all that stuff. And I sent it out to them, and they all thought this was the best thing. And I was just like, well, it stays. I had another instance. It's a side story. It's called Night Stalker. So it technically takes place. It's not the official second book of the series, but it takes place chronologically. It's the second book in the series, and it's not a spoiler because it happens in like the first couple pages. But one of the rules of writing is you don't kill the dog. And in this scene, Bill he's basically trying to save this lady. Her dog attacks him. He tries to like kick the dog off of him, and he forgets that he's amped up on vampire blood, and the dog goes flying into the side of a building. And the editor behind that, because it was going into an anthology, hated it. They're like, you need to take this out of there. I'm like, no, I'm not taking it out of there. He's like, you need to take it out because people are going to think your character's a jerk. I'm like, that's the point. They're supposed to think the character is a jerk. Why aren't you getting that? And like we fought for probably like back and forth for like 2 weeks or so, and finally I was just like, he was just like, if he stays in, that's on you. And I'm like, that's fine. I purposely am doing this way. And I understand that turns some people off. I mean, I have dogs. I love them. I would never hurt animals in real life. In fact, with my camera and stuff, I got the virtual background, but I have a printer stand right behind me. I have a cat bed on it because one of my cats likes to sleep on. But I'm also a firm believer, like, I can separate fiction from reality. And it's like when people get horrified, it's, oh, you killed the dog. No, I didn't kill the dog. The dog never existed. But if they're mad at me for that, that means I did my job and I made them believe the dog existed, which ultimately, winds up being, I guess, kind of a plus in my favor.
Absolutely. It's sheer talent if you can make people feel bad for something that was nothing more than words on a page.
Yeah.
So,
as I said previously to other people, I'm like, I've killed hundreds of thousands of people in my books, and I sleep fine at night knowing that I've never hurt anyone.
So I was actually looking through your website, and I saw that there were some other books that I didn't even know about at all. I feel a little ashamed that all I know is your main series and then the newest thing. But I wish I could remember the name. It was about an AI, and then a guy gets sent into the into like a gaming space, and he has to.
All right, so the AI that might be Demon Load. That's part of the Shingle series. And sent into the gaming space. That's also part of the Shingle series. It's called the Sober Slayers. Oh wait, no. Oh, okay, back up. We're not talking about Shingles. You're talking about Time Chaser.
Yes.
I've written enough books where I confuse myself. So Time Chaser is a lit RPG. It's actually my first lit RPG story. I've been a gamer for years. I've been a gamer since high school. Actually, before high school. Damn, I'm old. But ever since lit RPG has been a thing, I've had people being like, "Well, dude, you've been writing about this gamer with Bill. Why don't you write a lit RPG?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've never had an idea for one." And then I was reading Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman, who's an awesome guy, by the way. And I loved the story, and it it inspired me to basically kind of like say, "All right, I kind of want to do something similar here." So yeah, that's pretty much what that's about.
Okay, absolutely. And I remember seeing that. There's so many books that I see on your website that I wish I could get a hold of. And I'm definitely when I'm done here, I'm gonna go and try to get my hands on them. So let's say our audience want to do the same. Where would you suggest is the best way to go and get those to give you as much as possible without kind of things getting scraped off the top for someone else?
All right, so I mean, I do sell paperbacks direct, but honestly, I never worry about where people get my books from as long as they're not pirating them. If people want to read it via Kindle Unlimited, if people want to buy a paperback, if people want to get an audiobook, I am happy with however they want to enjoy one of my books. That's entirely up to them. And it doesn't bother me. All of it is good. The fact that they actually decided to try something of mine, that's what matters as far as I'm concerned. That said, I'm a multi-genre author, and really the advice I give is that depending on what you want to read, if you like comedy, read Bill the Vampire. If you're looking for action, read The Girl Who Punches Werewolves first. And if you're looking for horror, head on over and check out Bigfoot Hunters.
Oh, I've actually read Bigfoot Hunters, and that's an amazing book.
Oh, nice.
So just to make sure, that's in the same world, right? And that those Bigfoot are the same ones as the Morning Woods? No. Okay.
No. So the High Moon series and Crypto Hunters happens in the same world, but Bill is considered a separate universe from them, and the reason for that is the Sasquatches in Bill. They're supernatural in origin. They're essentially nature spirits given form, whereas the Sasquatches in the Crypto Hunter world, those are genuine cryptids. Those are extant, evolved meganthropi hominids.
Okay.
So completely different. And like for a while there, I tried to rectify. I'm like, okay, how can I make them both fit together? And then I was just like, it really doesn't make much sense. I was like, okay, two universes here. There's the Billverse, and then there's kind of like the Bentverse, which is the High Moon and Crypto Hunter series, and Midnight's Daughter also takes place in that universe. Werewolf happens in Bill's universe.
As a reader, I definitely could see how they fit together. It's definitely a cool headspace, but I understand trying to make it fit together, and there's just too many contradicting statements that can't just be unreliable narrators. I mean, I respect being able to separate them and not just excusing the plot holes. That's another level of talent that I wish other authors could access.
Things like that bother me. Like I don't like teleporting monsters, things like that. A story has to make logical sense to me within the rules of that world, and if it doesn't, then I try to figure out how to make it make sense.
All right. Well, I think we only have a certain amount of time left because Zoom's going to shut us off. But in the time we do have left, I'd love to get to the rest of Morgan's questions because I think we've only got to cover one.
Yeah. So my last question was, if you didn't have to worry about any audience or like didn't have to question to answer to anyone, what would be the penultimate story that you'd want to write?
If I didn't have to worry about like selling books, all that stuff, like marketing, I would 100% just be writing Transformers fanfic. Yeah. 100%. I collect Transformers. I've loved Transformers for years. I would 100% be writing fanfic, especially about the Dinobots, and just be happy as a clam doing that.
That's amazing. That's so fun. Oh, that reminds me. Is Dave the DM a real person?
No.
Okay.
Dave 100% is fictional. He's not really based on anyone. A lot of the stories that Bill shares in the series about things that happened to him in D&D, those are based on like real campaigns I've played, except for like the overtly sexual stuff.
All the stuff about the ogre tribes. Yeah.
Exactly. That's 100% made up because like that's a Dave kink right there. But a lot of the stuff that Bill shares, like he's talking about, like he's talking about climbing up a mountain with a broken arm and he gets kicked in the face and falls, and his character fell off. That happened to me. So there is a lot of my gaming experience in there, but a lot of it's made up too.
The first time we ever talked to each other, I asked because I knew that the D&D stuff was based on experiences. So I asked, is the Dave the Anal Assassin too, or something like that? Just real quick. Are you from the New York area? All your stories seem like a local.
All right, so I live in Central Jersey. I'm about maybe 40 minutes from New York. I went to school right across. I went to school in Hoboken, so I was right across from the city. And my wife is actually from Brooklyn. So little known fact, mostly because nobody ever asked, but the apartment that Bill lives in, it is pretty much based on where she lived when I first met her. It's on the same block. She had one roommate. Bill has two, so the setup is a little bit different. But yeah, that's 100% based on a little bit of reality.
Is your hatred of Soho also based off of reality?
Nah. So Bill is not me. It's not a Mary Sue story. There are plenty of things about Bill I don't like. And just differentiating it, I was just like, what are things that annoy Bill? And just off the top of my head, I was just like, Bill hates Soho. He just hates the people there. He hates like the fact that it's like such an arty place. And I don't know why I came up with that. I think it was just like, it was just fleshing him out. It just popped in my head one day. But no, I actually kind of like Soho.
I didn't mean to phrase it like that. I'm sorry. I meant it more of okay. All right. Well, I don't know how much time we have left here, and I'd hate to get cut off, but I want to thank you again for having this interview. And if there's anything you'd like to tell the audience or let people know to keep their eye out for, you're more than welcome.
Well, the only thing I'll say is that I have three main series. I have Tome, Bill, I have High Moon, and I have Crypto Hunters, and I have a lot of other books I've written that maybe like that some do and some don't. But I'm a multi-genre author, and really, I think outside of sweet romance, I kind of have a little something there for just about anybody, no matter their interest. I have tried my hand at romance under a pen name, and one of my favorite reviews was like, "This is not really romance so much as unlikable people doing a lot of hate effing," which they really weren't wrong.
I don't know. I think we need more of that in the romance industry. There's not enough. Harley Quinn's not accepting that. All right. Well, thank you so much for letting us do this interview. It's genuinely an honor to meet you. I've been reading your books for years, and this is an amazing moment to talk to somebody of your caliber.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was awesome. Awesome meeting you guys. Also awesome knowing that we've been kind of bantering in the past on social media. It's always cool to put to put a name and a face to that.
Absolutely. I mean, I know Morgan talks to you a lot more. I believe they comment on your Instagram posts and whatnot. I just occasionally watch your YouTube videos and all that. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
And Morgan, do you have anything you want to say before we're going to sign off here?
Much, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you.